So looking at how they've been, because Bafana haven't been loud.
Yeah,
they've taken a back seat in light of their allegations. You know, Bare, you know, we're gonna fight this and prove our innocence.
Because let's stepping away from their roles, it was voluntary.
Yeah, it was voluntary. They weren't asked.
But the statement that I saw from Prime Media was that the contracts were terminated.
No, Habari.
Yeah,
the wording is a bit confusing.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing. Yeah.
So the termination of a contract, but behind closed doors, it could be a mutual separation.
But but
a mutual separation would result in a termination of a contract.
Their statement makes more sense.
Yabo Fresh.
Yeah, Yabo Fresh said that when the allegations were brought forward, we decided to step away from public engagements. In other words, taking bookings as DJ, being on air. And we let our employer know. And then, when we saw, because they've been touting the cops, I think you found what's happening? So they haven't been arrested. But all we know is that the case has been opened.
Fana posted a video.
No, not tweets. He's been tweeting, saying, nobody's coming to get me. I've been waiting. So he's been tweeting.
That guy's so obnoxious. Bro.
Then, all we know is that in the public domain is that we've been charged.
Yeah, and bags have been stopped and restored bag. But now,
when they saw that the case is not going anywhere
and it's not moving,
they said we engaged our lawyers, stakeholders, including our lawyers, and we've made a decision that it's in our best interest to resume our public life. Once we've made that decision, we went to our employer. We said, because but we'd like space and time to deal with those things. We've tried to engage legally, and we are hitting a block. So we've decided that until otherwise.
Because it's tricky because number one, the case
It's a case.
It's in case.
Oh, like the allegation,
the alleged incident.
Yeah, the alleged incident. So considering I can even imagine the investigation process. You know, to even decide will this even case be even brought up to the court of law.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it's a fucking process, and Bafadawa now can't wait. They can't wait, bro. It's like I need to get my bag too.
Nothing's going to come.
Yeah. So because your process or your there's a lot about you that's in the public court of public opinion. We are uncomfortable taking you back. Because you are still bringing a cloud, and that's for me is what I'm interested in discussing. The responsibility,
media side.
Yeah, from in the whole conversation around cancel culture, like your employer. What is the role of your employer? What is the role of the person that gives you the bag, where you have not been found by structures that are mandated to find you guilty or innocent?
Sure.
Where public opinion. So let's take even homophobia is that you can have words that it's interpretation of the person that's offended that you're homophobic, but we cannot say there's a court that takes or a process that can take this from step A to Z, and then at the end of Z we can determine that regardless of the words, but we here make a determination that actually this is not homophobic. But you will catch heat and smoke on the basis of that one incident or one text. What is the responsibility of your employer or your sponsor or the person that gives you the bag? Because right now, we were not fired. We then asked our employer, because remember we have a contract. The contract says I must work for you for 5 years. This incident comes after 2 years, so I've got 3 years. Because about own release from the responsibilities that I signed for. So that's what their statement said. They says we then requested to be released of our responsibilities to the broadcaster. Then the broadcaster obviously
does not want to put them back on air.
Yeah, put them back on air. Because they've decided they want to resume their public life because the case is going nowhere.
Yeah, or
it's stagnant.
Yeah, stagnant.
So releases from the contract.
Yeah,
yes.
so that
but it's first put us back on air to resume our responsibilities against our contract that we have. We still have 3 years to go with you.
But then Prime
You
Media is
as a station, you are then saying
reluctant.
that 3 years right now, because you have not been vindicated by a court of law, I'm uncomfortable with you coming back now.
But are you paying me?
No, it's
Maybe it's not paid.
It's without pay.
If you're not paying me, let me out the contract.
That's why they said it's in our public interest. It's in our interest to resume our public life because our bag is suffering.
Yeah, bag
So-
aim, you know.
So for me, that's where I'm more interested in.
Yeah, because abana companies and brands, ne, habadili, you know, habadili ka the technicalities of justice nyan. You know, it's still kind of in perceptions, bro. It's still, you know, public perceptions associated le brand ya how. You know, so if then Prime Media now gets the stamp or bona they are working with abusers, even though Bafana Bao have not been by law convicted of abuse or whatever allegation that they've been, you know, leveled against them, it still taints the brand.
Yeah.
What's your personal opinion?
My personal opinion is that it's a very difficult thing. Cases of GBV are not black and white. And that's the thing. You know why? Because let's say my daughter lives in a commune that has men and women.
Sure.
My daughter comes back to me and say, my friend accuses, I'm going to say Des because you're in my face. Des raped me. But Des has not been confirmed to be a rapist. But will I still send my daughter back?
No.
So my personal person is that in a case like that, I'm not willing to wait for Des to be vindicated. So what I will do is that I will still take my daughter out of that commune. Because in my head, the idea that there's a rapist has already been planted in my head. So it's too much for me, it's too much it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous a chance to take.
It's too risky.
So I feel like as a company, you'd feel like, look, we can say on the basis of principle we live in, because remember, no company is, the constitution is above even the law of any company. So if Fresh-Bar, according to the laws of this country, we are innocent until we are proven guilty.
Sure.
I would be interested in if they took that stance. On what basis are you letting go of me? But the company might have a policy that says, if you are accused of something, you are expected to be suspended without pay until it's resolved. But then there is no stipulation of how long being resolved takes. So now it's a square off. And then I'm like, the only way to separate is if I release you of your responsibilities.
We'll once a politician. I get him for now matter case. Ace. And NC had stated,
Yes.
NC had stated how matter case.
But I'm not always.
Tell him fana yana jigarai. Nakita baya had the branch didn't be
Because we didn't agree on the how.
Yeah, so we didn't agree on the how. Let maybe kill on social local. I now but one TV. Wait, what? Yeah, but I get. But
if you ask my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's what the fuck I
Yeah,
asked.
so
I'm waiting for this.
No, personal opinion. If you're asking for a hard stance, my hard stance is that the company should follow the.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
What are you asking?
Do you think Fresh-Euphonik did it or not?
Oh, I thought you meant did the company have to let go of them?
Or they did it, like the allegation.
Did they do it or no?
The allegation.
Yes.
That's very difficult.
I see.
That's like very difficult to say.
And I can say, and just paraphrasing the allegation, right? And trigger warning for anybody who might be, you know, gets triggered by this.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just paraphrasing from what I read when that girl posted the tweets about what happened.
Yeah, we've come a long way. Niggas like this giving trigger warning.
Hey, contextualize their stances.
So get ahead and ukathola maybe after an event bafana wa neba DJ thing who are flating, you know, who etsola rocker seda ngwana ka re le una sa tauwe but ha sa tswa o saying you know utwa this chat
Do you think they did it?
yeah no mamela ke fana ka context hore ho no le mnate ga gutla flateng wa ba mnate wa bo khathi yana maybe ngwana o nna tauwe and ha sa tswa o saying o tswa a sa utlwa gore ho no etsalang and and le yana o jiwe wa bona and niggas were you know mara jwale yana ba feel like shit aksa hopola wa bona mara ntwe etsa etseng ha se ntwe ene ke batla etsagala wa bona mara a ke hane ne ke tauwe maybe but I didn't consent for this shit.
Yeah. I would say the way she narrated the story, that the chances that they did it in the way that it unfolded is more plausible than it isn't.
Mara, it's also plausible.
What's the story?
Yeah,
the story.
It's also plausible that Bafanaba didn't know because onatau.
What's the story?
Yeah, the story is that Wheeler Fletting. Wablomiwa. She was. Wanua. She was inebriated. Unatauwe. Ujewe. She doesn't remember. Utwilo saying Salju.
I realize her.
I realize, and it's Ajutua Rojo.
Oh, not Rojo.
No, she realized and Ajutu
Rojo.
Rojo.
So her thing is that you dragged me.
Yeah, she was saying drag.
You filled with
because she couldn't remember the events of the night before.
So that's why I'm saying that scenario is more plausible.
And na as mutata uwe atawang. There's certain
plausible.
It's plausible you can even without being dragged. Also hoping certain parts of nights.
Yes.
Even without being dragged. When I doesn't find out you a while, so it's a so. One gets a cry. Shit.
Nah.
But okay, so let me ask this.
Both can be true.
Yeah.
Their understanding of it is not real.
I'm not alleging anything.
And
I'm not alleging anything. Have you ever forgotten sex?
I have, bro.
You've had sex and forgot that you had it the following day?
Drunken night.
I have.
No, I've blacked out, bro.
No, I'm saying, has that ever happened to you?
Yes, it has.
It has, bro.
It has.
I've had. It has, bro.
Yeah, we like. It has.
It has. It has.
Did we? Like, did we?
Did we?
Like, yeah, did we fuck? It has. It has.
Yeah.
To be honest, it has.
And I know, yeah.
To be honest, for me, it has.
To the ladies in the house, has that ever happened to you?
And you remember not sex happening? Nah, it has happened. Fine.
Yeah, no.
Has that happened to you?
It has happened.
No.
It has happened.
It has happened to me.
Yeah,
it
has happened, bro.
That's because in Vela
scorched.
So to you it's eventful. So to you it's sex, but it's happened before. Like maybe couching maybe like you don't even remember how you go to the bedroom, and you don't know if you made out in the couch
situation. You remember one point. And Hopala also.
Hey, remember?
I can't believe. Hey, come on, such a good pyjama.
Remember that trip we went to? Remember that trip we went to? I want to call the name of the trip we went to because it might call other people into dispute.
Sure.
When I'm telling Nkauza Afua BJ Atawi, la hopol.
No.
Ho seng ha tsoa abasa tse entle ka ema nka rona ntho etsa etseng. Hona le trip ke nka va tla jotsa offline.
Yeah, so
give me your phone.
Yeah.
And I'll type where it happened.
But they all saying
that's what
how to it's saying. Ariman.
Elements.
But he couldn't make. He didn't know whether Kila or not.
It was a guy.
It was a guy.
That's so fool. I've had situations where I don't remember Muscape.
Do you remember this? Mfanao. Mfanao da.
Oh,
Hey.
how Paul?
Oh,
And then he woke up and was like,
so Hannah was saying, "Hey, man, I'm trying to
Yeah,
but I guess already it's a hit.
a tsoka ka moreng ya hae.
Ka kamoreng ya hae, hore rona ba ne ba
a tla ba
ithusa.
kopane le ena hoseng
Eh.
le dutse le re ba jwang.
Eh.
A sa apere a hlapa.
Hey.
Hey.
I never got that.
Yeah.
But I got a story even from the lady.
I never got that.
And again, that's why who knows so late.
In fact, how I heard the story, it was this whole debate out there. Do men appreciate or men don't make as much fuss about unwelcome sexual attention advances as women? About, for example, I'll change the value on what's a little baby by Kena Camrenia High, Bamfumana Robetse, Bamkau Laburujo, Bamka blue job. How to say, oh man, yeah,
Can something happen?
so Abarena, Jaga became more convinced out when over you. And he's like, nah, it ain't no thing.
I got my dick
Right?
sucked.
So we were just having an argument about how the same experience could mean something different for a man or for a woman.
Sure.
So, which, to answer your question more directly, are hano etsa lanto ona neba bua ba qoqo bona are ke suspect hore ntho ngwe hona ntho etsa hetse mara ke sure abatla hore ona corroborate ona ba sa corroborate but kutlile ba bua vele ba tsena tlile ka moreng ya hao. That's the only thing he could confirm or go tshore ntho etsa hetse, but he couldn't remember.
And mfana
He couldn't remember the
He
event.
couldn't remember the event.
The event. And it's plausible, bro.
this can't tell you ball. This can't tell you ball.
And it's plausible.
Because I was one of the last people to sleep that night.
Yes.
Yeah.
So but everybody was gone.
Yeah.
And I went to my room.
Yeah. Uboni.
Mari. I still wanted to drink. I was bored.
Yeah.
So I thought people were drinking. People were somewhere. I thought niggas had gone out.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Yeah. But I'd seen people that had got into their rooms. Like, by the room, it's about like
Babo.
Hey, man, what are room you empty, man? So I thought I like
But bano ono ba tseba go ba kupela.
Ka ba robetse mo.
Hey. Because ila ga re dutse mona ka o sala mokotla bona na mokotlo no setse la. So monga mokotlo na ne ke tseba go robela ka room nye. So ka memela ka bona a sa fihli. So I'm like, no, e re ko ise go beno.
Mokotla room nyu.
Ke se mokotlo go mga yona cause ke tsa monga no go bala ka bona.
How fitla ha mo.
E fitla kokotara ha ona mthabulang. So ke bula bona. Ha ke bula ha ona motho ka ra ke sia mokotla ka ra.
Ga batho ba.
Ya ne ba mo mona ra ema.
Kana kweno ke ga man.
So what
Ba sna batho kana kwe. Ho no wa kae le nna ke batlo lono. Ka
Ba sa ne ba mo mona.
Ka tla zona
Yeah. No to let's put it.
Tse kopana le tsona le nna ka ina.
Oh God. Hey, we fana kana lena. E kana. Yeah, ba ga tswela.
Cancer di bo.
Yeah, ga tswela.
Ka ikela go munya ka ithoba. But then okay.
But
So
you can forget sex.
It's plausible, bro.
The reason I was asking was
you
because
can forget sex.
was because that sometimes
Oh, just to add, just to forget. One know how she realized. Are inele le veggie.
Oh, there was blood or something.
There was blood.
sometimes do you believe that somebody from your past could come back right now and accuse you of rape within the current refinement of what rape has been
Yeah,
Defined as.
come to be accepted as?
Yeah.
Most deaf. No. Most deaf.
Somebody could come back today
Yeah.
and say Mfana,
Aye.
because back then that was not.
Yeah, and the operator had to
I was ignorant.
Yeah,
Now that,
and
now that we're operating on these rules, actually, there's you raped me.
yeah, most deaf.
Somebody could come back and put that on a public platform and say, actually, I'm going to open a case against the law.
Mara kana kweo. Ne re sa tsebe boy. Ne re sa tsebe.
Guys,
And ha re bua ka these clear cut.
I don't know, because I grew up in Soweto, right? And I think I've said this on the podcast before. I think, because that's why I went my
That's deal.
But I'm trying to say, remember there was a big era for those of us that are born in the 80s. There was a big era ya benzene, le brick flute.
The thin ass.
Yeah.
The thinnest.
So we grew up.
That's spiking,
yeah,
nigga.
which is what we call date rape.
Wait. Wait, niggas were using benzene to do
Yeah. Oh no. Benzene machitana itsuba bona. But glue. Say. I'm just talking about substance. What substance?
Break fluid.
Break fluid.
No, break fluid. We bear on the.
I don't even know how it's.
Yeah, but we only ever heard of that. I've never seen it.
I've never seen niggas do that.
Yeah.
But I only ever heard of it. How can break fluid?
Oh yes, Len, I've never seen how. I don't even know what it looks like. But what I'm saying that we grew up in an era where we knew one of the ways
of to spike
drinks was to use break fluid. Body Spanish fly.
Yeah,
body tiger bar.
And abana le nna ntho tse buang ka tsone ke di situation o thola gore re etsa di body punch
ne o tswa di punch ka tsone
ke tawang kaofela mara o thola gore ra mona ga yana o sa lahlile and niggas are out there doing their thing, you know, and kana gonna
socially acceptable.
It was socially acceptable mo jail ona sa lahlile ne re bitso o lahlile ngwane. Why one?
And what is okay? But then let's contextualize lahlile. What does lahlile mean?
Lahlile mean okay, you have lost your inhibitions.
Inhibitions, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, not
blacked out.
You're not
passed out. No, you're not a vegetable.
But you've lost your inhibitions.
You have lost your inhibitions.
No. I think.
Yeah.
Holahla. You see, that's the thing.
Not blacked out.
Yeah. I think what you. The thing about it, I don't think we had a technical line. Holahla simply means this is a chance for me to be able to do what I wanna do.
What I'm saying is that you can be blacked out without being physically blacked out.
Yeah. You're still responsive.
You are still responsive.
You are not aware of your answers.
But you.
You still follow me. You are hearing me, Mari. But you don't have your faculties about you.
Exactly. And you know that after the effect.
Yes.
It's all saying you don't remember parts of the night.
And if people ask you, Tabang, who's your witness that I said I'm living with you? Kibule pla mbali or ratsama. And Mbali, you said yes, but your yes, because it happens when you didn't have your faculties about you. So holahla means you were responsive to my requests. Mara next
So if we go on consent. Then go on consent and I got a yes.
Yeah.
And then you decide the following morning that your yes was actually a no.
Yeah.
Then no. And it's only a no because you don't remember saying yes.
Yeah, so
you don't remember saying yes. It's only a no because you don't remember.
Yes, it is fair.
You don't remember saying
what
yes.
The law looks at, Mudise, what the law, and that's why the definition of rape or why consent has become so technical is that I can rape you, meaning you still said no. Then I raped you, which is the worst kind, and I used violence. Then there is, I can make the yes be forced.
How we forced?
Yes, I'm coming to categories. Then there's no, and then I ignored the no, and I went ahead.
Okay.
Then there's where, if court asks me, did she say yes? I say yes, but I want to qualify it. The yes was also forced.
Okay.
Then there's that.
Yeah.
Then there is another yes that's not forced, but it's influenced by other things. Could be drugs, could be alcohol, but in your natural faculties, the law says, would a reasonable person have said yes?
I'm
coming to that, but you are not the one pressing the charges. So it doesn't matter that you can't use that the way. I am saying we are going by categories. We understand the clear-cut rape. I said no, you proceeded. Then Kibo, I said no. When I said no, you said you'll drop me in N1 at 3 in the morning. Then I said yes. So the yes was forced out of me. Then there is, the yes was not forced out of me. The yes was not forced out of me, but I was put in a condition where the yes was easy to come out.
You're not hearing.
My nigga, kita willing.
We drunk, bro.
Yeah?
Drunk here.
Kita willing. My intent is not to rape.
Kita willing. Right. So our faculties are questionable.
Really too.
Yeah.
How to sing?
Yeah.
How
hopeful?
Yeah.
That's your only problem.
Then the difference. But here's a difference. So here's a difference. You said how to mix a punch. And the ways were then the question would be, in that room, listen to me, but did women did women look at that drinking session and say, I hope a man also lahlas? Why is it only a man who hopes a woman would lahla?
Nah,
Because
but these rules are
Which
not
is fine. Yes.
Hold on.
That happens because we pursuers.
That's cool.
That's social construct.
Yeah,
Pursue.
and
That's cool.
Yeah, and the game and the rules of the game are not hidden to the girls too.
Yeah, we change.
We don't lie. We don't lie about the punch. We don't lie about the punch, B. We tell you,
So you tell women there's break fruit?
yeah, no, not break fluid. I'm not talking about
Oh,
the
you
break
put
fluid.
break food in a fucking punch.
You don't put
That's how
break
you-
fluid
that's
in
how you
punch,
open the
bro.
segment.
No, break fluid is the spiky.
I say, Lilian.
No, I say, Louis. I say.
How do you mean?
No,
everybody.
I say, Louis. Share,
just
no,
break
share, but
And then
we close around the
Oh, okay.
That's spiky.
Okay.
That's what we were told.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, that's
That's what
spiky.
we were told. And what breakthrough does, apparently, it knocks you out.
Yeah.
Blackout.
It knocks you
Yeah,
out.
that is spiking. The fact that we are putting
Next
this
time.
element.
Yeah.
Ya jwala.
And the aim is to get
Bosto.
stupid drunk.
Hore re taweng kaofela.
Yeah, we get stupid
Eh,
drunk. Yes.
eh.
Okay, so I thought we were still talking about break fruit.
No, we got break
Because
fruit.
that's what I'm saying. Break fruit starts with the intention in mind,
No, that's spiky.
which is hola.
Yeah, mono.
But now, even within the alcoholic context, right? When we say that how nulejwala, your inhibitions are lowered,
Yeah.
and that's the case for both men
And women. Yes.
right? So that's why hangata utlauka batho ba re no yona wa itaisetsa ngwana tsore ngwana sa utlwile ka
Ka wena.
Musifa ba re musifa wa
what
deactivate.
Madiana Matan.
what up but illing something that's known by men and
It's a
something
social
that's known
lubricant.
by women. And
They know this too.
And sometimes women induce it.
Yeah.
They drink more alcohol to get themselves to
In the mode.
In the move.
that point, right? So now, why then am I in the wrong? Yeah, we're treading on thin ice here.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
It's fine. It's an honest conversation.
we're treading on thin ice.
I don't know why.
why nena mate batsho jwalo bana bana
Eh,
why nena mathanywane
it's making the bean throb.
that's what they say.
So now why then, when I'm sitting across the room from you and I'm drinking, I'm asking genuine questions.
Yeah.
I'm sitting across the room and I'm drinking. Then I get the and I can in the way that you behave and vele why didn't matitin? You might think that it's something that you are able to control.
Yeah, but we see it, bro.
We can see it. Okay, why in vele matitin now? We can see it. So now if I see that vele okay, it's a lot now why lara and vele matitin now. In my approaching you, am I wrong?
A predator.
Am I a predator now?
A woman. A woman.
M. I can say yes and no.
Now woman.
I wonder how
M. Yes, and
Aye.
Melissa is asking a legitimate question, because remember now, because I suppose the difficulty is that between two people that are going to end up having sex, there is one who is going to be seen as the initiator.
Yeah, but
And the owners,
we're always in.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, the unfortunate part and the cards that you are dealt is that when you are the initiator, you bear the biggest brunt of the responsibility. That's the unfortunate part.
So now,
Is it fair?
It goes back. It's not. So it goes back to we find ourselves in a position where, as a man, right, it's in your best interest to just leave girls alone.
Avoid ace.
Remember what I used to say?
Yeah.
It's in your best interest to just leave girls alone because things are skewed
Against you.
The power balance.
Yeah. Just as much as the way that the cards are dealt, when she reports the case, she's gonna be believed. Which is why,
Because that's the power balance.
that's what I'm saying. So, unfortunately, because you are the initiator of sex, it's an offense. I cannot stand on the fact that Maurice, I didn't mean to offend you. It doesn't matter. I delivered the offense.
Doesn't matter what you mean.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you meant, right? So Mudisa is gonna take me to task about how she feels.
Yeah, and that's the optics. So now when we're talking about situation like this, and then okay, now do you believe the niggas did it? Even no, I can understand.
So it goes back.
The sex have happened, but it was not rape.
So personally, for me, I'm with Tabang that what happened, what that girl said happened.
Yeah.
Right? But the classification thereof
Yes. May not necessarily be rape. Yes. Because, in fact,
I can't speak on the classification.
which is why on a public platform, Fresh's wife was asked, Hore, your man was on the list. Tabatesa the stance. What's your stance as a wife? Because there's people that feel like they want allies.
Sure.
Abare, my husband's line of work, I can see how a situation like this can arise. And she was not saying Kamu defender or she didn't go and say, oh, Munaka should never had a woman. She said, I understand his line of work. Because his line of work could be the same. Mbaluna tebo mo. Do you see table arrived record? We could have briefed Mbalo Mbali, still let him to Lashi. Hans record of one Noah. Now, because Mbali is our stock taker. We are saying, Mbali, you know what we want. Line shit up. I'm not gonna go now to table and say, I won't actually come back. How to make a flatting? Mbali lined up shit the way we do. And maybe Mbali has been doing this to us for 20 other girls. How to tell Nakits Bambala Muprifile mode. I cannot what they were who gets and tricky. Kausan what's all saying. Table. Are non tricky and the Tabanga do mail. But did Tabang wake up that morning setting out to rape?
No.
But the modus operandi of our environment, whether we are DJs or we are pimps or whatever the case might be, she can lie to me and say she's a pimp.
Which is actually a real thing.
So room 18. So I still ask for consent.
And it's girls that bring the girls.
So room 18 or go to room 18, your things are clear. And
you do your thing.
So if I'm asked at court, did you get the boss consent?
Fish.
It's so technical because I probably didn't because already ready made. Plug and play. So, because remember, so when my lawyer asks me,
Buddy's gonna be scared. Buddy's gonna be scared too.
Come and answer for the shit.
So Buddy's gonna be scared.
So here's another moral. Here's a
Buddy's gonna be scared too.
Here's a spanner in the works about those people that advocate for sex work is work and coercion. Why do we? So can we not say poverty is a coercion to a person wanting to have sex with somebody that I was not have sex with?
It could be, but
right? There are people who think like that. If Mbali has an establishment, for me it's a foregone conclusion that everybody that works for Mbali says yes to having sex with whoever walks in the room.
Even though it's illegal.
Even though it's illegal because prostitution in South Africa is illegal.
We know.
I'm saying as a man, if I pay for Mbali's establishment, my thinking is that
every girl
person that works for Mbali, it's a foregone conclusion that they are here for the day to have sex with whoever walks in the door.
Sure. And
who's paid?
Yeah, who's paid?
Right of. Therefore, as soon as that means.
So when
everybody knows.
Yeah. So when in the court of law you ask me, you say, Tabang, when you walked in a room 18, what happened? No, I found Tebuho on the bed with her legs open or whatever. What did you proceed to do? I proceeded to take out the money that I had agreed with Mbali. With Mbali. Yeah, or Kinsite Mnyako. I went and took a condom. I greeted her. She nodded. She said, I took out my condom and we had sex and then I left. So she didn't say, yes, you can have sex with her. Well, no, she didn't say yes in words. Did she say no? Well, she didn't say no either.
But it was
Teho just says you raped her. So technically, I never got the consent. And I could go to jail.
You can.
In the classification of
what
rape is.
But because now of these tacit
understandings and cultures and environments.
I say it's nuanced. I say, oh, I'm fine.
So what you need to do, keep yourself away from the nuances. Get out of the nuances.
But it's hard to
So when you read the climate,
nuance. And happy like notwithstanding like the genuine reasons why certain women report later, because sometimes it's not plausible for you to report as soon as it happens.
As soon as it happens.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, what part of that social media understanding came over? Oh shit! Now I realize Majitang, because a lot of us had that aha moment.
Yeah.
We had those aha moments where, like the question Vanna asked us, or could it be possible that certain people could come back to us and say certain actions? Okay, what sort of level of a kid education for some women later on comes over that aha effect?
In fact, what makes it even complicated, the lady said, I woke up and I realized that somebody had sex with me, but I don't remember consenting to sex. And I think it's person A or B or both.
A. Or both.
Yes, she said, I think
because she doesn't remember anything.
So what I'm doing now, I'm doing find.
She doesn't remember anything. And Eliana ke uditola from Manzwe, because I agree Majita Jole also sebabua fela about the day before. And maybe
and by the way, just to be responsible, we are not saying there is no situation under which people or men would deliberately have an intention of dragging women to rape them. That also exists.
That totally exists.
That also exists. We are not saying that does not exist a scenario where we can know about babatlangi.
Totally.
Having maybe or whatever, we know that in our process of getting them drunk, we already know what we want to do to them.
Totally.
We are not saying that does not exist.
Totally.
We are saying we are judging the story by how it was narrated.
Totally.
And based on the industry the niggas are in.
Yeah. And happy obviously conflicting with certain assumptions that we are making out of our own experiences and whatnot, and general like conflict is a general.
I'm not saying yes, there is niggas that have said so this time around, so we're not saying that scenario does not exist. The question was, on the basis of the information and how they are accused, do we believe where we are sitting with the facts that are available, that is plausible or is it not plausible?
Yeah. Why what?
Yeah, the way that she narrates the story, I believe that happened.
Yeah, it happened.
Then I do believe
classification.
As to what we can call that, that's another debate.
Yeah, that's another.
In fact, I think when she came out on social media for the first time, she even said, because this is what my other belief is, that she said, I don't even want, because but never Sabuli case, and I just want you to acknowledge it and apologize. I think she said acknowledge and apologize. She only went and pressed the charges after there was a backlash about Bula case, be a strong woman and do this Ababula case. And sometimes it also talks to, like, how we said Twitter can give you.
Say when this thing happened?
2011.
Yeah,
when you go advise Yabuma Twitter, it may be true that it happened, but legally it may be ill-advised maybe to open the case that you believe is winnable. Meaning, in that case, you may not even want to open yourself up to a potential lawsuit. Because to prove...
It's defamation.
Yeah, because to then prove that it happened, you're also opening yourself up to additional harm.
You can't prove it.
Yeah, like a defamation case.
Now what happens
unless the girls that were there that night.
But the witness.
But how else are you going to prove that?
Yeah. Especially going to it.
No, what I'm saying is that it talks to these things I Mara Twitter about Pompa. No, it was strong test. Babon so you're gonna be a poster child for pursuing something, but when you look at the legal basis of it, it may not be winnable. At least from her first intentions of coming out, it looked like she said, I want you guys to acknowledge and apologize. The way Mudisa asked the question, it will be interesting to me, Hore, you see how the desert so. Does it matter how the person approaches you for past indiscretions? I.e., I go to a public platform and I make a public accusation. Like, let's say, on a Dojo tweet, and then somebody replies and says, yeah, I believe there's versus if somebody comes to you and say, you know what, got this narrative, this whole GBV, it created some triggers in me, and I wanted to close a particular gap in my life, and my recollection of the events of a night, 1994, whatever. but I want to hear from you.
Yeah, but approach, because, hey man, like especially like a lot of these things, especially say because let's say if enlightenment came after Nakone, and now because of my position, you realize now because of the sentiment itching chill, and you bring this up, you might stand to gain. You know what I'm saying? There's remember that in it's in front of Westgate, you know, if I bring it up now,
and the intention of why I'm bringing it.
Even though right now you understand, at the time we both didn't know. You just came.
So let me talk about the technical ways of, let's say, a rapist versus a thief. So if your mom says to you, Des, you are a thief, it doesn't matter that you've ever been convicted, because it's a person. So you are a thief. I know you are a thief. I just never press charges. Are you? Is my labeling of labeling you a thief correct?
But why are you labeling me a thief?
Because you've stolen my purse, and you know it. We both know it.
Have you always felt that way?
Yes.
Have you always felt that way? If you've always felt that way, then yeah.
So all showed.
If you've always felt that way. But if now upon new information, let's say you never felt that way.
Okay.
You've never felt that way.
I also get that. Yeah.
You've never felt that. Now upon new information, upon new learnings, you realize on tricky and then showed. And now you call me rave. And like all showed way. Based on this. Have you always thought kill showed?
That's actually an important distinction.
Have you always thought kill showed? Nah. Are you only saying it based on this new information?
It's almost like the whole concept that he pick me as women, right? So for example, you might find that Mbali and Teboho are people of two different worlds. Like Teboho is urban, Mbali is rural. Mbali's love language is Indo-Tennis Kwele. That's her love language in KZN. Indo-Tennis Kwele. Munna Satsimono Kikai and is not possessive, doesn't love me. That's what your love language is, that from the region that you come from, right? But Masofika la Ekoli, you find Abo Teboho who are feminists. And then when Teboho tells you a story, hey, there's what so you now defend a man. You are like, no, you don't have like me living in a square level. About when you are a pick me. Why are you siding with a man? Don't you see our agenda in Joburg? This is not a fucking KZN. This is not fucking KZN. Then Mbali starts to socially fit in. What Mbali starts saying, now, like what you say, Mbali does not feel abused. She does not feel abused. But because she wants to fit in, Libo.
Banana Bamun.
So now, Masofi Gendlin, you are now looking at our relationship with the lens of Joburg.
Ne?
Hi, no. You are changing text. Because you are called that in these circles because you are called a pick-me. Right? You are called a pick-me. And then now you start saying things that you've, like what you're saying, things that you've always accepted.
Except now.
But even your changing tune is not based on your own volition. It's an influence of other people where you are trying to buy social currency.
Yep.
But I don't want to be seen as if I'm derailing the agenda of women. You know what? So I'll also go press charges against Des because I believe Des is abusing me. But I have not always felt abused.
You have not always. So I
suppose I get that distinction.
Have you always felt it?
Yeah.
Or is it upon you learning?
Yes.
Because all of us have had to do learnings.
Yeah.
Hence we can sit and now can ask us these things. When you are looking back in your past, have you been in situations upon new learnings, bro? But if you find out, ask me this, let's say like a couple of years ago, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Nah, there's nobody who can come and say that. You know?
Because I think today when somebody comes, you can say, look, based on the new information that we both got, I can understand why you now 10 years later may feel that I was doing this, but I also want to assure you that either I was still childish,
Lena on my
but
side.
the TL does not allow for that.
The TL doesn't allow for that.
But it's a difficult thing to accept.
Yes.
It's a difficult thing to accept because the person that comes out of the woodwork coming to accuse you is not coming to you with what happened there wasn't supposed to happen.
Hence the approach in front of Wangayo.
A rapist.
Yeah.
I'm not going to accept that.
Yeah, bro.
Because Linek can accept it at the time. So in you trying to, you know, and you trying to bring like
Awareness,
awareness and tweet. I'm finding out defensive posture now. You're
Yeah.
inducing a defensive posture. You're inducing it. Now we can't talk. Now I gotta get you for defamation and all of that. If it is a pass. Or when let's say Bafana about listen right now, KCE1. Let's say it because case are hard. Let's say it gets dropped, right? Non-evidence, whatever. We compass you it. And then Bafana about defamation. What happens? What happens? What happens, bruh? Then she gets the brunt of it.
Yeah. And you know the difficult thing about these things? The difficult thing about these things is that you are also not, you know, like the scenario that we were saying, whether it's plausible or not, you are also not getting the story either a Fresh and Euphonic saying, no, we actually do acknowledge the night. That's not the issue at play here.
Yeah.
Because maybe they were in a place they were not supposed to be. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
So I'm saying,
or even if they might have acknowledged
Yeah.
the existence or
in fact, Fresh did a tweet saying, I'm being accused of things of a person I don't even know. He did.
a person I don't even know.
Yeah, he updated, says,
Yeah.
I'm getting
Also,
these
so
things
he said-
from a person I've never even heard of. But when you look at the industry, you have to look at, is it possible for a DJ to forget the person they fucked?
How many women do these niggas meet?
Like you were asking, is it possible for a person to have forgotten they had sex when they were drunk? Is it possible for a DJ who is big, prime time, 15 years ago, to remember everybody they fucked?
It is in different cities every fucking weekend. You know, meeting so fucking.
Yeah.
If that's the lifestyle.
if he says that
in 2001, DJ was huge.
Ah.
DJ Fresh was massive.
Yeah.
He might have. So maybe
Is
I'm open a little
so is it plausible that he forgot? You see what I'm
It's
trying to say?
plausible.
But what I'm saying is that if what it is a dispute is that we are saying he acknowledged the series of events and the version of events. Then he says, but where I have issues with Des is where Des says this was premeditated rape, whatever. But the problem is that when we ever get these cases, sometimes the thing that niggas cannot be able to get themselves out of the corner is because getting myself out of corner A, I've put myself in another corner in B. Because I was never meant to be in
I was
corner
never
A
meant to be
begin
there.
with.
Yeah, I can't begin to imagine. And this might sound insensitive, but that's the part that I resonate with.
Yeah.
How tense it must be, Kaku.
Yeah.
My nigga.
You got kids,
My nigga.
social media,
Jesus.
your kids are grown, your
Jesus.
father is trending.
My nigga.
I always think about that the most.
Life, bro.
Katlu, mfan.
No, the five might understand, but the news.
Hey, mfan. And utolore because I get le pay no na thing. Be like a few months before. Now kiyo na yo monga.
It's always something after the ad.
Shit, mfan. Jesus, be.
Because I think, and
But then now, yeah. So, is there something to be said about that trend, though?
There's something to be said.
Why are there multiple women coming out?
There's something to be said. Mara happy. Obana li case ya pain. It's conflated.
there was a personal relationship.
Yeah. She sometimes might seem as a disgruntled ex.
Lover or ex, yes.
It's conflated, bro.
It's conflicted, yes.
But if more than one woman is coming out against you, bro.
Yeah. No, but let's yeah. And you're right, Maurice Hore. What people will call where there's smoke, there's fire.
There's fire.
Yeah.
Mara check. Let's say I'm nine Nicholas Drake, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to go.
I'm prolific.
So what?
And I've did my dirt.
Yeah.
I've did my dirt. But not all of them I agree. It's not the way, bro. It's just that I just tend to be prolific by side.
Yeah,
and obviously I will have more than one woman. Maybe not being aggrieved with my actions, not necessarily.
Yeah, let's put it this way. I think whenever we say there is never smoke without fire, ne? That's an acceptable kind of analytical lenses we need to have on level. Like, like I can defend Muriso on the basis that I know him within the committee of this podcast. Maybe we accuse Muriso of something. Maybe be import. Let's say it happens or get me high. Because I'm taking Muriso's side because as far as this is how Muriso says. About okay, you know what, first or carriers, whatever, benefit of the doubt, both sides. Then I can maybe by Muriso treble. What do I be two? What do I be three? I'm saying. In all three cases, Modise may be totally innocent.
But they smoke.
But I'll also be naive to not recognize that there can't be three people. Yes, maybe it's unfortunate for Modise.
What is it about you that makes
right?
banana keep coming out?
Yeah, like Linda will say, look, you are right. Like you are right. Like I Linda, maybe if I was in your shoes, like you are right. It's three incidences, but I still don't believe that he's a guy who'd had women, right? So now my point is that you start looking at things like, okay, cool. Especially with successful people, so think about Tiger Woods.
Yeah, but
Tiger Woods had a wholesome brand.
Yeah. But he
was sleeping with prostitutes and porn stars.
Yeah, he was wild.
It only took all these people knew he was married. All these people he was paying handsomely. Ne? Then when one came out, ne? What is the motivation for the rest to also come out?
Money, bro.
Moment of fame, money, and all those things.
Money.
Right? But all along, they were happy to be in the shadows. They were happy that they were sleeping with a married man who was paying them off. But now because there's a social currency in being fucked by Tiger Woods.
It pays to be fucked by Tiger Woods.
Yeah. And then it further pains. And now the publication study tablet will go out and say, whoever also has a story that can corroborate Michelle's story will also get given $10,000. So now we start incentivizing people to come out. So if you're at the top of your game, and I'm not saying this is what's at play here, I'm saying I can imagine why somebody can say, China Plus has been in number one spot for a while.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's hit one or two girls that the story will be true. Have I ever been with you at the Val Hotel? But I know you also don't want the fact that we were in a Val Hotel together to come out. Even though you didn't rate me. But I know that it's in your best interest for you and the world to not know that we were at the Val Hotel. So I can create an environment of everybody that has something on you to come forward. I'm saying I can also see why with a big star,
with that event like that,
that smoke
will be
even if there's no fire. Yeah, but there'll be smoke because let's say maybe he's cheating because he's married.
Yeah,
and that's the smoke.
Yeah. And then we take that smoke and we evaluate it with a reasonable person, right? You know, sometimes because you need to check like the amount of women that Fresh is exposed to as his industry, as a byproduct of his industry, versus
an average person.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like accident in Easter.
So not 3 cases is justified. But 3 cases to that nigga, man. I don't know.
That's also a point.
Like that's the point I'm trying to make.
That's also,
You know what I'm saying? 3 cases to that.
It has to be congruent.
It has to be congruent to the amount he's exposed to versus none.
Yes, I suppose.
Like
accidents in Easter will be much more versus
why born.
Yeah.
But these are sometimes the
nuances. Are you gonna say Fresh was mentioned 5 times on the list?
But how many women?
So is Temba from Kagiso.
And that's different, bro. Because maybe I meet like 10 women a year.
Yeah.
Fresh meets 1,000. Only 5 come out.
And the chances of people he's discounted, not because he's raped them, simply because I was a celeb. And I touched you for the night.
This is us just throwing numbers and speculations. But just to bring ideas out. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a pity that the other side cannot be spoken for by us.
The
other side being women.
Because
there's certain things that they
need to come through.
They need to admit.
Yeah.
But it's not our
place to say.
we're at least not allowed to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Understandably so.
But there's certain things that they need to come to terms with, and they need to admit about them and how they move around in those circles.
In those circles.
circles.
Yeah, man. Let's end it there, B. Let's end it there.
Ending it heavy, but it's cool.
Let's end it there. No, they get a topic at least.